Hello, I'm Kelsey Creveling with the Consultants Counsel, and today we are going to be discussing a difficult but rather important and critical component of supporting and managing and working with others, and that is mental health and cognitive decline in the workplace. Before we dig in, if you or someone you know is in crisis, you can call or text 988 for immediate support and assistance. Hopefully, this goes without saying, but in situations like this, remaining very calm is critical. Don't escalate your own emotions. You can handle and process them once the situation is not in your immediate presence. But in the face of needing to support a team member through a crisis, remain calm and bring in additional support and help. An additional component of that is keeping your empathy and your consideration really front of mind. These type of situations oftentimes, with managers who may not be as experienced, can be rife with opportunity to then discuss it offline with others. These are not situations that call for that. Aside from escalating to the appropriate leadership and HR professionals and employment legal support, there's no one else that needs to be a part of the conversation. So please keep situations like this private and reserved. They are a personal and protected event that requires your utmost discretion. All right. So switching gears just a little bit to events that are not immediate crises, but are critical in order to support the team members that you are working with and to help them navigate potential mental health decline. A sad reality of our brain's function is that it can, over time, decline in different ways. Outcomes that exhibit themselves in a multitude of different ways, whether that be a change in how we reason and our rational response to interactions. It can be to our memory and how we relate to the world around us. And it can be even just to our outcomes and what we're able to produce. Throughout my career, I've worked with clients all over the country and supported team members around the globe. And it's really important to be paying attention to the outcomes that team members are producing and to really hone in on if there is a change in that production, in that response, in that relationship. And when there is, to work to understand what might be contributing to it. Sometimes it's just events outside of the workplace, life is happening, things are adjusting and changing. But sometimes it will be the result of cognitive response, whether somebody's gone through a traumatic experience that is adjusting the way that they respond and react. I've been there. Whether it be age-related cognitive decline, that can occur too. There's lots of different things that can happen, and it's not your responsibility to know what specifically has occurred or to try and attempt to diagnose what is happening, but rather to take note and to engage the professionals within your organization who are well equipped to handle and support that team member with the assistance that may be needed. And so if there is an event or something where you're noticing a pattern of behavior that has adjusted either over time, or you've come into a new organization, a situation, and you're seeing something that seems out of place, the first and best thing is to escalate to your immediate leadership. Hey, this is going on. I'm observing this. I've talked with the team member just specifically to get a lay of the land and see if there's anything outside of the norm that's occurring for them, and it doesn't seem like maybe there is. I think it might be a situation where they may need some medical care, counseling, things like that. Then also loop in and bring in your HR team support. Make sure that you have their involvement as well, and allow them the ability to navigate the specifics of how they engage with the team member. Your HR team is well versed on the specifics of how to handle the intricacies of those type of scenarios. The biggest thing will just be making sure though that team member has access to support and counseling and medical care as needed. Oftentimes in events like this, the team member may not even realize that there has been a change in behavior or in outcomes, and they may need some support and counseling in order to get that type of support. So as a manager, it is your responsibility to just be paying attention and being aware of what's going on with your team members, to be asking the questions of just how are they doing and what's going on, and then to escalate to your HR support as needed to get them the help that they need. Now, if you're working in a very small organization and you don't have access to those type of support resources, you also can take a look at, do you provide health insurance? What types of counseling are available there? And then also just the discussion with the team member of who else is available in their life that they can talk with about what you're witnessing. You don't want to be in a situation where performance is being questioned and outcomes are not being achieved, and it's actually the result of a medical emergency and medical situation rather than just the team member choosing not to perform. But it's really important as a leader to understand the differences in those situations and how to navigate them with consideration and empathy and discretion. So I hope that helps with how to parse through some of those difficult scenarios that inevitably, when you are working with and managing others, will arise. When navigating these types of scenarios and situations with your team, it's also really important to, when everything has been supported and the team members have received the help and support that they need, to really check in with yourself as well, and to take a look at if you need any support, because working through those type of situations is exceptionally heavy. It's a lot to carry and it's a lot to be involved in, and making sure that you've got an outlet yourself for a healthy dialogue to be able to share and process what you have just been through and what you've supported on someone else's behalf is really, really important. It's also really important to be able to navigate it with the rest of the team. So inevitably, the team's still going to be aware that maybe an event occurred, something happened, and being able to navigate that really diplomatically and considerately, but also with the utmost discretion of what has occurred. So taking time to compose yourself, check in with yourself, and get any support that you may need is very, very important. But it's also then very important to take a look at, does the rest of your team need any type of support as well in a potential absence of a team member or in the face of a crisis type of situation? These type of events can manifest in so many different ways. And can have long-reaching implications and ramifications. And so it truly is just critical as a manager to be proactively checking with your team, knowing what's occurring, knowing how your team is feeling, knowing how they're processing all the different things that are occurring, and then also making sure that they have access to the support and resources necessary to navigate the difficulties that inevitably we're presented with every day. So I hope that this has been helpful, especially for new managers who may have not yet engaged in these type of situations. I hope that that's the case for you, that you haven't had to navigate this. But if you're in people management for any amount of time, inevitably there will be scenarios and situations that do arise. And then also, just as we are humans and we have personal lives, people's mental health certainly will arise as well, and whether it be for ourselves or for others. So learning how to be proactive, both in keeping ourselves healthy and well, and in supporting the well-being of those that we engage with, is really, it's our responsibility just as humans, and certainly as managers and leaders.